Not really sure how to start because Brian's not here.
Sorry, Secret Life of Parkinson's podcast. Lovers of Brian, you're going to be sorely disappointed today.
Welcome to The Secret Life of Parkinson's, a podcast created by people living with Parkinson's to help break the stigma of a disease no one likes to talk about. Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Krauser and Brian Baker. But it's great that we have a wonderful guest with us.
Yes.
Darrell Grobe. Welcome.
You. It's great to be here.
And this is not your first time in Columbus. This is now your second time.
It's now our second time.
So I can't wait for us to share this story.
Well, I have plenty of stories to tell.
Awesome.
Wait, this is what I was going to say.
Okay, I know you were ready for it.
I'm so ready. Can you see? Ahoy, matey.
Arg. I like it.
See?
We'll throw right back with the pirate thing. Arg.
I know.
Arg.
Did you tell him to do that?
No.
Oh, okay,
No.
good.
No.
Okay, well, let's talk about why did you do that?
Yeah.
The reason I did that is that I'm a Parkie. I was diagnosed back in February of 2023. And my wife, lovely wife, and I have been enthusiastic long-range cruising boaters for 15 years.
That's a mouthful, Darrell.
You bet it is.
Long-range cruising boaters. You're
Well,
gonna have to tell the audience what exactly
What
that
is
means.
that?
All right, it's very simple. We have a boat. We have a big boat. It's a 45-foot long boat, weighs 30,000 pounds, and we have cruised and explored the entire eastern third of the United States, everywhere from the Atlantic coast to the Mississippi River, from the Great Lakes down to the Florida Keys, and lots of places in between.
Cool.
And one of the things that we decided when I got the diagnosis was, are we going to continue doing what we love to do? And the answer is yes. And the reason I am here today is we live in Denver, Colorado, but we keep our boat at a marina in New York on the Erie Canal near Syracuse. And this is just kind of a halfway point for us. And I was aware of the gym and, of course, the podcast and all that. So we stopped by the gym and went through a session and stuff like that. And we promised that we would come back when we were on our way back to Colorado.
And you did.
And you did. Yeah, and let's backtrack a little bit because I'd like to bring attention to when you're very active in social media. You've got
Try to.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about.
I used to do videos of our adventures and where we've been and stuff like that, but this time around, it just didn't seem like the right thing to do. So I've turned to writing.
Okay.
And I know one of the big reasons I do a lot of writing is that my fingers need to be
I was
exercised
going to say,
a lot.
how is your writing? Because I'm
Well,
terrible.
no, it's all typing.
typing.
It's
Okay,
all
okay.
typing.
That I can do.
My handwriting's been bad since day one when I was a youngster.
Yeah.
You know, so it's still not any good. So I do a lot of typing. So I do a lot of entries. I try to post on Facebook and a couple other blogs at least once a week. It's been a little different. It's been a little difficult the past couple of weeks because of transitioning to head back home to Denver and all that kind of stuff, putting the boat away for the winter and all that kind of thing.
So I know a lot of people always struggle with, like, once they're diagnosed, they're like, oh my God, I can't, I'm going to have to stop doing everything. So where were you with that?
I was pretty close to that. I mean, I was one of the non-movement symptoms that seems to have hit me is anxiousness and a little bit of freak out, too easily freak out. Things like this or things like getting on the boat and going never bothered me before.
Yeah.
But after PD, it's been an issue that I have to deal with. But I'm fortunate that I know how to drive my boat really well. So I was able to do things with it and be able to pick back up where I needed to, and that immediately eliminated some of the anxiousness. But now my wife has told me that, and I didn't even notice this, she said that this season I also experienced a lot of anxiousness at the beginning of the season, and I don't remember that at all. But everything worked out, and I don't want to sit here and say that what I do or how I do things is the right way for anyone else to do things, but you don't have to lose the things you love.
Do you do anything differently than you did before with the boat?
Yes.
Okay.
As we were planning this last season, I thought that I was going to have a lot of challenges with gross movements, big arm swings and legs. The boat is kind of the worst split level house you could possibly think of. There's 5 different floors at different levels, and they're all connected by ladders and stairs. So here I'm popping up and down stairs and ladders while we're going through locks and things like that. And I was worried that those were going to be a problem. But it turned out it was my fine motor skills that were the real problem. Like, for instance, I can't use binoculars anymore. I can't hold them still. And my chart plotting software, the main thing we use for navigation, is on a computer tablet. And it's all the smallest little hyperlinks you could possibly think of. It's kind of like,
How do I get it?
And what would happen, things like I'd touch it, and then for some reason my hand would react, and I'd touch it 3 more times, and who knows what the heck was going to happen. I could end up losing the entire program and all that kind of thing. So yeah, there were some changes.
So what do you do with both of those situations?
But the one that I have to tap it like this, I've gotten to the point where I have to take it and hold it against me.
Yeah.
Steady it.
And then boom, like that. And then as far as the binoculars and stuff like that, my wife now is the keeper of the binoculars, and she does that. I can't use binoculars.
Funny thing with binoculars, when we went on our lake vacation, they had binoculars at the house. And my mother-in-law would use them a lot, and just like, I don't know, just like looking at things out on the lake. And so I was like, oh, let me try. And so like I grabbed them and I was like shaking.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
Can you hold them on my face?
I'm surprised they don't have like some kind of
Well, they probably do.
cap or something.
They're heavy.
Oh, well,
They're
that's
heavy.
true.
And when they're
Yeah,
extending
didn't
out from
even
your
think
face,
about that.
you'd have to be wearing a helmet with it attached to it.
But the
and
only
stuff
thing
like
that I did find is when I had sunglasses on,
Yeah.
then I just put them up against my sunglasses, because the problem was I was trying to hold them against like my eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to like poke my eye out. But
Really?
Yeah.
I'll try that next time.
just an idea.
I'll take anything.
Tips and tricks. That's
Tips
what
and
we're here
tricks.
for.
Yeah.
So when you were diagnosed, you said 2023,
Yep.
right? What was that journey like? Were you already retired?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go back 25 years, and I'm going to start the story when I was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying sleep apnea has anything to do with Parkinson's. Nothing says that it does.
Yeah.
But it did put me on the road of sleep medicine. And I went through all of it. I mean, I did, time changes, problems, and stuff like that. And then I got to the infamous REM behavior disorder, which is the one that we all freak out about because it is a precursor to Parkinson's disease. But there's another version of that called non-REM behavior disorder, which is not a precursor to Parkinson's. And that's what I was diagnosed with first.
So what was that? How is that different between REM?
They're exactly the same, except they think it's because they appear at different times on your sleep scale, on your sleep.
Were you thrashing and moving
Oh, yeah.
about? Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you still had that.
Still had that, but it didn't go deep into the body and neurology and things like that and cause real problems. But it morphed into REM behavior disorder.
Okay.
And I still had all the movements and the shaking and the yelling and the screaming. It got pretty severe at times, except that my wife did want to know if I could clean the oven, while I'm sleeping. So when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, because of the sleep disorders, but also because of an arthritis in my neck, I was in 2021, I started having that. Just the middle 2 fingers just started wrapping like that. And I thought it was because of the arthritis. I thought left hand, left neck, I was having a kink or something like that. And I went and saw my doctor, my primary care physician. She just kind of went, no, they're not associated whatsoever. And so we did the hokey pokey, and she diagnosed me with essential tremors.
Okay.
So I played with that for a year. But during all my studies, I began to notice that my tremors were occurring at the wrong time, according to what they say about essential tremors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I went and saw a neurologist at the medical establishment that we deal with, and 5 minutes, he goes, you've got Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And I did not like that at all.
Did you have any idea? Like, did you do any research on it beforehand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what did you initially think then, if you already did a little bit of research when he said you have Parkinson's? Like, what did your mind go to?
Went to hell. That's what it did. I mean, I did not take it well.
Yeah.
And I was more angry at the doctor than I was at the disease, because I thought 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and they're able to diagnose Parkinson's disease. That's crazy.
What was he, like, empathetic at all, or did he?
No, she was in this particular case, she was very unempathetic. And what was worse is that the medical practice who I dealt with, which is a very large medical practice out in Colorado, she gave me a sheet of online resources to use, and half of them were the phone numbers were disconnected.
Already gone. Yeah, I know.
Already gone.
I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Like people, like they're in and out, so it's like the website or the phone number is no longer available.
Right.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I got in touch with the Parkinson's Association of the Rockies,
Oh, good.
and they have a large number of support groups, and I started going to a support group.
Nice.
And we have many friends who are in the support group now, and that's been a really important part of my whole thing.
I was going to say, how do you feel like that has changed your overall outlook of the
You mean the
things?
support group?
Yeah.
Because we're all the same.
Yeah.
You know, we have something in common that is mind-bending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, two of our closest friends are now from the support group.
That's awesome.
And they're just sweet and lovely people. I also began to see the variety that Parkinson's is for everybody. You know,
Doesn't discriminate.
doesn't
it?
discriminate against anybody, age, gender, color, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm 70 and I'm one of the youngest ones there. You know, but there was, you know, men, women, young, old, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I got out of being in the support group is that we're all the same. We all
Do you
got
take
this
any
going.
medication?
Yep, I take CL, 2 pills 3 times a day.
Okay.
And then I also take a Zoloft in the morning. That helps a lot too.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like that, to me, that like just curbs the,
It rounds it off.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of nice taking it and having teenagers because it's like a lot of stuff that they do, and I'm like, just not a big deal. Like, I'm like, should I care more? I'm like, but it definitely evens things out for me.
See, I want to tell you about something that in one of the videos that you did that I feel very connected to.
Yeah.
And that's the video you produced after you got off that Zoom conference call. And you were having trouble with word acquisition.
Oh gosh, yeah. From when I was with work and I
Yeah.
was crying.
Yep.
It was my first time crying this year.
Yeah.
It happens once a year. But yeah, it was. Do you have that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty heavy.
And it's really frustrating. And I did get a lot of comments on that one, just to say, like, you know, because I still can't explain like what that's like and what it feels like. And other people were saying the same thing. They're like,
I liken it to your Wi-Fi going out and then coming back in a little bit.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's actually a really good way
That
to
is
explain
good.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Every now and then I'll come up with something good.
Yeah.
Well, and it's frustrating because especially when you're feeling it and other people, they might recognize it, but they're like, it's not that big of a deal. It's like, yes, it is. Like if you have that happening to you,
It's a
it's like,
feeling
it's
of
so
loss.
frustrating. Yes.
It's a feeling of loss. Like you're a business professional, so is I. We,
Right.
our words and our voice are our currency.
That exactly. Yeah.
And when we can't access our currency, it's a big dig.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
very
I
difficult.
remember, sorry not to interrupt you, when you were like contemplating DBS, Jess, you were like, my voice and my brain and stuff, this
Yeah.
is my, my livelihood. This
livelihood.
is who I am. I don't want, I don't want to jeopardize any of that.
Because that was one of the things with DBS that they forewarned you about is like, it could, like it shouldn't affect your voice, but it can because I think the location of it is close by, something like that.
Yep, they're real close.
And so that's what made me like for a couple months, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not ready because then I wouldn't be, would I not be able to do this? Would I not be able to do whatever? And it's, again, I'm still just 43. But then I was like having such a bad dyskinetic event when I was on vacation with my family and I looked at my daughter, I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm doing this.
Well, it's a very poignant illustration of what you go through and what so many people in the realm do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darrell, do you see a movement disorder specialist now? Or
Yes.
you okay?
Well,
good.
yeah. There were certain lessons that I learned right away that I really stuck with, and that was one. Hang on to your movement disorder specialist like a bug. Just and nothing against other neurologists or other doctors and stuff like that, but yes, it does make a difference going to a movement disorder specialist. The other one is when they talk about making up your wellness team. I took that to the max. I mean, we interviewed doctors and specialists and things like that. We went together and we...
Like who? Like what type of doctors?
everything from re-talking to our neurologist. So I had a primary and a backup neurologist.
Oh, wow.
Backup. I love that.
An emergency backup neurologist. To physiologists.
Physiotherapists, like a PT,
therapists,
yeah,
PT
yeah.
and stuff like that. So I made up the list. I got, Lisa has access to it. I think I gave a copy to each of my sons. Okay, so they know who to call in case something happens to Dad. You know,
Oh,
but
I have an app I can show you.
oh, yeah, I know, I'm familiar with that.
Did you do it?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, not yet.
Yeah. Me, Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But also, I included things like my attorney. You know, particularly for my sons, if they need, if something happens to me, who do they get a hold of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they get a hold of my attorney.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
things like
That's actually a
that.
really good idea.
Yeah.
You can add that to that.
We need them. We need them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well, because you don't know you need them until unfortunately something happens, and then you're like scurrying, and yeah, that's a great idea.
I was actually going to ask you. So I know you were talking about your mom and how she was in the hospital system, but you have 2 sons. Right?
Yes.
How were they in taking the information of you having Parkinson's? Or how did you even share it? I guess.
Conference call. They're both in St. Louis, and I'm out in Denver. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out in my own mind exactly where they're at, what they need to know, how much of it do they need to know. How do I need to describe what's going on with me more severely so that it impacts them in some way, or do I play it light? I don't think so. I think they need to know the truth. But boy, that's tough.
Yeah.
How often do you see them, like in person?
Twice a year from here.
How old are they?
36 and 38.
Okay.
So I never thought about it like that. I mean, because when we had my kids on recently after my DBS,
I saw that.
they were very invested in themselves at that point. But we had
Typical teenagers.
But,
I mean,
but
yeah.
Brian asked, I think asked my son a question about his readiness for my DBS because he was very nervous. But he said something. He's like, I just didn't think that you were ready or needed something like this yet. And then Brian's like, hold on. He's like, you have no idea what her day to day is like and how she feels throughout the day. And I was like, and I just always assumed that they did because they live with me. You know,
Sure.
It's like they see me. I
They're
ask
witnesses.
for help all the time. Like just if I'm struggling with something, maybe I don't ask enough. But it's like, how much do you tell them of, now they can notice a difference, but it's like that the stiff, because I have stiffness and the rigidity and all that. So there's only so much that's visible. And I think it was not even too long ago that I told my son that I'm on Zoloft, and because he said something about depression or anxiety, and I told him it came with this, and he's like you were depressed, and I was like, no, I mean it's just like it's just part of the disease, and I'm taking medication to kind of help cover that. So that kind of freaked him out, and I'm like, I'm not trying to scare them, especially at their age, but yeah, it's a delicate balance of like, do you want to show them that like you're fine, or do you want to tell them everything?
What makes it even more challenging is that we don't know what we should tell them in a way that we don't even know what's going to happen.
I know, yeah.
How can we tell them what's going to happen to Dad, in 3 years or 5 years or 6 years or 7 years or whatever, when we have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Because it's like everybody progresses differently.
It's like Michael J. Fox. It sucks. I don't know how to handle it sometimes as far as how to communicate it to them and stuff like that. I want them to know. I want them to understand. Are you familiar with the elephant in the room conversations that some of the people who are really leading the way in research are talking about
I don't know.
Parkinson's? All right, what they're saying is that there has been this dichotomy of people who donate are being told one thing, that this is the worst thing in the world, people are going to die, this is terrible, 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 terrible. But the patients are being told, quality of life,
Oh, yeah.
hang in there, stuff like that. Where's the truth?
Yeah.
Where do we sit?
fall in?
Where do we fall in? Do we need to take a more hardcore stance as far as we demand action because this is going to kill us, or are we saying thanks for what you can give us? We'll just keep going here. Thanks a lot. Yeah, and I don't know where I fall on that line either.
So one of the girls at the gym today said something. Because what I was explaining to her, they were like, "Oh, it looks like you're doing well after DBS," and I'm like, "I am," and I had like a simple thought like a couple days ago, and I'm like, I'm not one to like really like go down deep for a while, so I just like let it be. But I thought to myself, I'm like, I feel great right now, and I know what's to come. Now I don't know specifically, but I know it's either going to come back, or something will get worse, or whatever.
Right.
And then I'm like, I just don't want to do that again. And then Kathy was like, she's like, well, you can't think of it like that. She's like, obviously, we have this conversation all the time. We don't know what's going to happen to anybody the next day. She's like, if anything does happen, she's like, just think of it like this. People with Parkinson's, we've been given almost like another opportunity to really live life as we should, because we've had this like stop of like reassessing and reevaluating, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be happening to me. So what do I want to get done?
Yeah.
Or like every experience, it's like, I enjoy everything because it's like, I don't know what 10 years down the road is going to look like. So that's kind of where I was like, that's actually a really good way to think about it.
Let me change the subject. You and I actually had a discussion on one of your videos. It was the one before New Year's.
Okay.
About goal setting.
Oh,
and I actually sent you a message through YouTube basically saying, I agree with everything you're saying about goal setting, stuff like that. I'd like to add a little bit more to that. And you wrote back to me and said, you're right, you got it right. You know? But I think goal setting is extremely important in what we do.
Yeah.
And
I think you're right.
You know, because my life goal, how's this for a life goal? To live well enough with Parkinson's that I could be the guest of honor at my own 80th birthday party, which would be on April 19th, 2035. And you're invited, by the way. So.
Oh, it's going to be on your boat?
I was just going to say, like, do we get to go on the boat?
But I'm a big believer in goals and setting goals. And I know a lot of people might be thinking, you know, the way I feel and the way this is all happening, me having a goal, I'm just not so sure about that kind of stuff. I get it. You know, I understand completely. But I think part of the problem is that people think that goal setting has to be morbid. Well, I just don't want this to happen to me.
Right.
Okay. Or I'm saying, when I started coming up with the goals, kind of like, what can I do about this? We can have a party.
Yeah. No, that's
I
awesome.
love that.
Yeah.
I love it too, because it's the same thing. Like when I remember thinking back to like high school or sometime I was asked, like you're asked about, you know, where do you see yourself or what do you want to do? And, you know, not knowing a timeline, but I'm like, okay, I know I want to go to college. I know I want to have a career. My mom was like very big on like, you know, you're going to go to college and you're going to be your own woman, you know, like make your own money type thing. And so like I did that and get married and have kids. And it's like, then I'll figure out the next phase of my life. And so like, and that's all that happened. And I can understand other people might say, I did the same thing and it didn't happen. But it's like, if you do have a focus and it's like, you have to tell yourself these things.
Well, see, that's the reason why goals are so important is because one, there's two things. One, they do give you a point of focus on what you're doing. You know, it keeps you on the straight and narrow to be able to accomplish something that you find that's important. The other reason is it's just fun. Yeah. You know, being able to have a goal and be able to successfully complete it, and even if it's mild or timid or something like that, it's still it can be a fulfilling experience.
No, I totally agree. I think that's
great. I'm glad you said that message, because I think a lot of us get in our own little world, and there's a billboard around here somewhere that says "Keep making plans." I think it's
for cancer,
but still, I love that.
I think of the same thing for Parkinson's. Like, keep making your plans. You might have to adjust them a little bit.
That's true.
Like same thing. Like I mean, I still thought my husband probably still thought I had 20 more years of working in me, and so right now I'm not working, and so my focus is on the nonprofit. But it's like I'm doing what I want to do, in a totally different way. And doing something even more than I ever thought I would be doing. And
it's also important is to do the thing that you want to do with the people that you want to do it with.
That's a very important point.
That is very good.
Okay, I feel very fortunate that I get to do something I love tremendously, which is be on our boat in the middle of the Great Lakes and tootling around, going to great towns like Whitby, Ontario, and Cobourg, Ontario, and wherever else. And I get to do it with someone I love and enjoy being with, and who's a really good admiral. So I had to get that in.
Yeah.
For those of you who can't see, his wife's sitting right over there.
Yeah. She's delightful.
And she's tough, too.
That's good.
Yes,
you got to be tough.
She's got the best combination
she's got
right?
The best combination.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then
you guys are a great pair.
I have goals for the boating. I have 3 one-year goals to successfully be involved in the boating season for a particular. I just completed one goal for 2025, so I got one for 2026 for that, and one for 2027.
Good for you.
Good.
They're all tied together. They're all tied
wonderful.
together.
Good for you. That's awesome. Keep doing all the things.
I know. I'm so
and if
glad.
let's tell everybody how they can find you on social media.
The simplest way to find me is to go to Facebook and search Skipper Darrell, S-K-I-P-P.
Skipper Darrell.
Skipper Darrell, S-K-I-P-P-E-R Darrell.
Okay, you heard it.
Simplest way. The simplest way to
Simplest
find
way,
me.
Skipper
Darrell.
Darrell.
And that also applies to YouTube and to
Instagram?
No, yeah, I think so.
Oh, I think because Facebook and Instagram are always connected. So I'm so bad at that. I'm like, I just hope I'm like, when I do one thing, I hope it connects to the other.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for driving through Columbus again.
No problem.
I know you have options to probably go through Cleveland or whatnot. So we really appreciate you coming back and
I appreciate
having
you
you on
letting
the
me be
podcast.
here.
Yes, absolutely.
Well-
And I can't wait to see you at class tomorrow.
That's all right. I'll be there.
Yeah, I know you will.
I'll
find you.
with an RV and a pickup truck in tow.
Ooh. And a dog too, right?
And a dog, Jocko.
Aw, Jocko. Sorry, I won't be there. It's homecoming.
Oh yeah, she's got stuff.
I got a lot going on.
But I'll be there.
Okay, awesome. That'd be perfect.
Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate you driving through and sharing some stories and some time with us. So hopefully you can come back again next summer, right?
Next summer,
Next
yeah.
summer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd like to get an update.
Next June.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, in our last 30 seconds, I will leave you with this. As Skipper Darrell said, setting goals for yourself is one way that you can feel like you're accomplishing something with Parkinson's. Whether you're newly diagnosed or have been diagnosed for 10, 15 years, there's always goals you can set, and nothing that is morbid in nature, but something that is fun and something that you want to attain to. So just keep in mind to focus on certain goals that you can set for yourself. And with that, we'll hope to see you next time. Thanks.